Welcome! A number of friends who know that I make my own bread are interested in my recipe, so I thought I would share it on YouTube. It's very, very simple. A lot of people get a bit worked up about making bread, but there's nothing really much to it. First thing to do is start off with the yeast. I've got 300 millilitres of tepid, and I stress tepid water, 2 teaspoonfuls of yeast and 1.5 teaspoonfuls of sugar. And you give that a good stir and a good mix and leave it for at least 10 minutes. So that's your yeast started. Come back to that in a minute. Next thing you want to do is get some very strong bread flour and measure out 500 grams. Dead simple, nothing to it. And a wee bit over. There we go. 500 grams, to which I add 1 good round tablespoon of dried milk powder and 2 teaspoonfuls of salt. Don't go too heavy on the salt. Too much salt and you end up with salty bread, and it can also kill the yeast when you add the yeast. Do your mixing with a fork. This will become apparent this will become apparent later on, so do your mixing with a fork and make sure that you go right to the bottom of the bowl. Incidentally, before you do anything, you should make sure that your worktop and all your utensils are clean. Now, you have to add fat, a wee bit of fat. I don't add butter, I don't add margarine or anything like that. What I like to use is oil. In this case, I am using rapeseed oil. You can use a good quality olive oil, but I like to use rapeseed oil. And about 3 tablespoonfuls of oil. As I said, this is rapeseed, Scottish rapeseed oil. I'm just going to add 4 actually. And that's basically all the ingredients taken care of. And again, just mix it all through. It'll start to lump a wee bit with the oil. And that's it. That's the main ingredients dried. Pile the mix into a heap in the middle. And the yeast is activated, it's bubbling away. So, let's add the yeast. Now what I do is I go around the outside of the mix, so it gets right down to the bottom. Pour it all in. Now at this stage most people would reach for a wooden spoon, a spatula, whatever, and I find that the dough mix starts to stick to the wooden spoon, the spatula or whatever. But if you use a fork, for some reason, not quite sure, it is a lot easier. And as you see, it's starting to come together now. It doesn't stick so much to the fork as it would a wooden device. And make sure we're getting all the... There we go. And it's much easier to clean a fork off at the side of the bowl than it is a wooden spatula. Now at this stage most people reach for flour and flour their worktop. I prefer to use a good old splash of vegetable oil because the mix does not then stick. There's much of it out. There we go. As you see, it doesn't stick to your hands either, the way the dough mix would normally do it. There's still some in the bottom here, I'll just throw that down. Get that out of the road and we can start the kneading process. And believe you me, it's a lot easier with cooking oil than it is with flour on the work surface. Flour seems to dry the mix out a bit. The oil prevents it from doing that. And you will need to knead the dough for a good 10 minutes. Well, that's the dough been kneaded now for a good 10 minutes. It's nice and silky smooth. There's no lumps, bumps or anything like that in it. It's holding together and it's nice and elastic. That's what you're looking for, is the elasticity in the dough. There's probably some people will comment about the way I'm kneading dough, but this is the way I do it. If you look elsewhere on YouTube or whatever, you will see many different ways of basically stretching the bread, kneading it, working it all in together. And as I said, the beauty of using oil on the worktop is that it's a much cleaner process. You don't have so much to clean up, and your hands stay clean as well. You don't get any dough sticking to your hands. I'm not being one for sticky hands, that's the way I like it. As you see, I'm cutting in at the bottom with my hands and turning the dough at the same time, so I get a nice sort of round ball of dough. So I've washed out my bowl, used warm water so that the bowl is not cold. You don't want it hot, you just want to take the coldness off it. Line the bowl with oil again and put your dough in the middle. It's as simple as that. Dough is in the bowl, loosely, and I stress loosely, cover with cling film and leave for, well, the time varies. What you're looking for is for the dough to double in size. The yeast becomes active, eats on the sugar, creates carbon dioxide and expands the dough. Nice and simple. So, as I said, take the chill off the bowl, not hot, just the chill off the bowl with when you're cleaning it out, and leave it probably about an hour. Okay, we've let the bread prove, just under an hour actually, it's quite warm today. So, a little bit of flour, scattered it onto the work surface, and empty the dough out. Just got to pull it away a wee bit. And out it comes. All light and fluffy. And knock the carbon dioxide, the excess carbon dioxide out of the bread by giving it a gentle knead, not as violent as before, just a gentle knead. Start to shape it. One baking tin, just a light dusting. Into the baking tin, squash it down, let it stand, or second proving or rising or whatever you want to call it. Again, double in size, so it should come up to just slightly above the edge of the baking tin. And that's it. We just leave it for about, I don't know, half an hour. Well, as you can see, the bread has now arisen for a second time, doubled in size and neatly fitted the baking tin. The oven has been preheated. It's a fan oven, an electric fan oven incidentally, so you'd have to calculate your own values for an ordinary electric oven or a gas oven. But it's set at 200 degrees centigrade, and I'll put it in there for 45 minutes. Well, there we have it, out of the oven. Let's turn it out now, see what happens. And that's looking good. Of course the test is. See if we can get a nice hollow sound. And put it on a rack to let it cool down. Well, the bread's cooled down now. So, the proof in the pudding and all that, I'll just get through. Oh, look at that. Oh, the smell is brilliant. So there we have it. A very simple, very easy to make loaf of bread with a nice crust on it. Okay, if you've got any comments, please leave them, and hope you have a success with making a loaf of bread.